And then he started saying some disgustingly cringy things like, lucky for you, I'm a vampire. So Irish.
Hello and welcome to Cruise Next. My name is James Albarn. I'm joined as ever by Elsa Grace. How are you, Elsa?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Take
James.
2.
Yeah.
I didn't hit record on the sound. This is Cruise Next, a podcast in which we watch and discuss a film, and then we care about the crew members here at Cruise Next, the people that work hard to put the film together. So at the end of the film, we dive into the credits and we pick a crew member from that credits, and from their filmography, we land on our next film. And thanks to Emma Boswell, the drone supervisor of our last film, Belfast, we have landed at our film today. So get your glasses of spunky water at the ready, because we're talking about Saltburn.
Did you know there was a college Christmas party tonight? NFI, me and you, not fucking invited.
You alright?
Yeah, I've got a flat tire.
Take my bike.
Hey, that is so kind. Thank you. I'm sorry I don't know your name. I'm Felix.
Oliver.
Oliver. Oliver, I love you. I love you. All right, cheers, Ollie.
My parents, they've got problems.
What kind of? What do you mean problems?
I don't think I'll ever go home again.
Well, why don't you come home with me? Come to Saltburn.
I did it again on take 2.
I liked it more this time
Did you?
around. Yeah.
Because it wasn't as shocking.
I think it's because you said salty, so I can imagine it's something else.
No, I said spunky.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I said
Did
spunky.
you say salty the first time? Maybe.
Don't know. Anyway, Elsa,
Maybe it's just Saltburn.
Saltburn, spunk. Elsa, tell us about
Spunk.
spunk.
So, Saltburn, the 2023 feature film from Emerald Fennell, who brought us Promising Young Woman, focuses around a working class, no comment, boy from Liverpool.
Is he though?
Prescott. Izzy.
Is he? From
who
Liverpool there.
works very, very hard and gets into Oxford University. There he meets Felix, who is this very handsome, charming, wealthy boy who belongs to the family that live in and own Saltburn. Oliver Quick, which I never really got if that was a joke, the name. I don't think it is. Quick.
I don't know what the joke is.
He's quick to get in there, isn't he?
Maybe.
6 months.
Maybe.
Oliver basically befriends Felix through a series of lies and manipulations in order to get to Saltburn. Once he's in Saltburn, he very much uses his smarts, I suppose, to win over the family and slowly take over Saltburn. Spoilers, obviously, as we always do. He does end up being the only person left from the main cast alive and
Yes.
takes over Saltburn, and Saltburn is his forevermore. So a lot of people like to think of this film as an examination of the super rich and how, grotesque they are. But ultimately, I think it's this film is almost like Greek mythology in a way. And I feel like there's not a single nice person in this film. There's no one really in this film that you're like, they're a good person. No one is likable. So I don't necessarily think it's as black and white. It's not as simple as go on the poor people, eat the rich, because also...
It's not an eat the rich film, I don't think.
No, it's not an eat the rich. Like, the poor people suck. The rich people suck.
Yeah.
It's just not good. But I and I have in the past on this podcast said I find it quite difficult to be invested in films where there is not a single likable character. But I was kind of invested in this film because I thought it was kind of it was almost a bit of Succession, wasn't it? Like as the film goes on, you're like, I actually really like that character, and then you're like, oh, actually no, they are a dick, and like that guy I thought was a dick is actually I really like. Oh no, he is a dick as well. Like it was a bit of that, you know?
Yeah.
Which I thought was necessary to keep you invested, because otherwise it is a very hard film to watch, in my opinion.
Saltburn, it was massively polarizing when it came out, wasn't it? There were people, there are people that absolutely love it and think it's the best thing ever made, and then there are people that there are people that are really into this film. Wow. It's like, it's.
I haven't met any of those people yet. I've met people who've been like, yeah, I liked it, but I've never met anyone who was like, fucking hell.
There's someone I worked with who is like mad obsessed with it, goes to like Saltburn themed parties now.
I'd go to a Saltburn themed party.
Like did a pilgrimage to the house to go and look at where it was shot and all this, like really into it. And then there was another camp of people that were like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
What was your... How many times have you seen this film now? Twice?
Twice. So I saw it in the cinema, and then I rewatched it for this. But when it came out, it was one of the first films that I had been to see after COVID. Mm-hmm. I think even to the point where I think we were still wearing masks in the cinema.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why I had such a bad reaction to it, because I was like, well, that was not the experience that I wanted to have coming back into the cinema. That was just horrible.
So you had a bad experience, like immediately on first viewing. You didn't like it. There were parts of it that I loved. Mm-hmm. There are still parts of it that I'll get into that I thought were really fucking good. But yeah, like it's really the nature of like the film. What's the DP's name? Linus We'll check that.
Sandgren, I think. Linus Sandgren. The whole idea is that everything is shot. It's a lot of really tight frames. It's a lot of quite like uncomfortable framing that you really want to pan away and just give you a break, and it just doesn't. And
it's in 4:3 as well.
Which I think was to make you feel like you're having a bit of a glimpse, like a bit of a peek into the lives of, you know, these people. Like I think it was beautifully shot. Mm-hmm. I thought it was very cleverly shot. But it did mean that in the cinema, you're really like, oh my God, like it was really intense. People walked out of the cinema.
Right.
So one person walked out during cummy bath hole. An older couple in the front row left when Barry Keoghan started eating out whatever her name is.
Is it Elspeth?
No, Elspeth is the mum.
Elspeth's mum.
Oh my gosh, what's her name?
The daughter. The sister.
Valentina?
Something like that.
And he was like, lucky I'm a vampire. Let's get into his accent.
Oh my God, the accent.
I'm Oliver and I'm from Liverpool.
I think...
My ma's an alcoholic and my dad is dead.
I think Barry Keoghan's a very good actor.
I agree.
Like, Banshees of Inisherin. I think
he killed me in that.
Brilliant.
It's so sad.
But...
Killing in the Sacred... He has this ability to really... He's such like a shapeshifter, and his face can either be completely innocent and naive and just pure, or it can be really fucking sinister and scary and...
Which is why he is kind of perfect for this role. Because you can see how he seduces them by kind of
All of
appearing to Jacob Elordi's character as a kind of like sort of sweet, almost like wounded lamb kind of thing, and then can turn very quickly in something else by just shifting his face slightly.
I think that, yeah, that's what made it so suspenseful, was because for the most part, you never knew if he was about to nut someone,
Yeah.
slit their throat, or kiss them.
Yeah.
And it was always, it was a bit like, what
Yeah.
is that? Like the kind of Rocky Horror Picture Show silhouette where he goes into Farley's bedroom. Mm-hmm. You're a bit like, is he going to smother him or are they going to fuck?
Yeah.
Same when like she's in the bathtub and she's like, what did she say? You're not a spider, you're a moth. That bit, you're like, oh my god, she is fucking reading him the library. He's about to kill her. He's going to drown her in this bath. And then they kiss. And it's like, I'm reading this really wrong.
Yeah.
Like, he's so good. He's like...
He is good.
But
the problem is, Irish actor, obviously, and until he goes back home, so there's this whole thing about he's made up all these stories about.
he said that his mum is really mentally unwell and really abusive, and that his dad is an alcoholic. His dad is an addict.
Basically they find out that actually
none of that's true.
None of that's true. He actually comes from quite a happy
Middle class.
sort of middle class family. But they're supposed to be from, do you say Prescott? So it's basically a sort of a slightly Scouse accent, really, isn't it? It's that sort of area. And he just sounds Irish.
I think this is one of the many ways in which this film is tone deaf, because I feel like Emerald Fennell, who is herself an upper class, very, posh, well-educated, wealthy woman, goes, oh, what would, be quite pitiful for like a working class person? Oh, that better be from the north.
Yeah.
Whereas actually, he could have just been Irish. Like, there's working class neighbourhoods everywhere. And you know what I mean? Like, he didn't have to be from the north.
She sort of, in a way, by doing that, almost echoed her own characters, that when he arrives, it's like, where do you say he's from? The north? And, they have all this kind of...
Well, let's be honest. A lot of that is probably just Emerald Fennell, isn't it?
Well, and I think...
Where is Liverpool, darling?
Yeah, and I think that is where I have issues with the film, because I think fundamentally I have no idea. And I think that was my issue with the film when I first watched it, because I asked you about your first reaction. And my first reaction wasn't that I hated it. I sort of sat there kind of going, well, I was kind of entertained. There was some funny bits and, and I think, did I like it? I don't know. And then the more I thought about it, the more it just pissed me off, this film. Because, and we're not usually so vociferous about films on it, but I think like, I had a real problem with what is the film actually trying to say? Because I feel like fundamentally it says absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I think it is saying nothing. I think it's saying nothing.
And, do films always have to say something? Probably not. But it's presented in such a way, and I think the conversations that you hear Emerald Fennell have about it and the conversations that you hear other people have about it frame it in such a way that it's like, this is a really sort of like meaningful, intelligent look at society and class, and I think fundamentally it says absolutely nothing.
No, but I think it's very close to it just cancels itself out. Because initially you're like, yeah, okay, maybe this is a bit like, from the get-go, Oliver is our hero, so we're empathetic towards him, and we see how all the rich people interact with each other and how they're all just sort of laughably ridiculous, and like even his tuty partner Farley is, when we first meet Farley, he's late, he's obnoxious, he's kind of sweaty, so he's probably high, he's, you know, like from the get-go the rich people are like, you know, fuck these guys. So then you're like, okay, that's what the film is. But then as it gets going and you realise that like they're almost then start to try and humanise all the rich people, and like you're brought into their home and their family dynamics and their friendships, and they, you know, sort of lavish moments of generosity, throwing him a birthday party, all of this. And Felix is like kind heart, but actually he is unintentionally cruel in almost every scene that he's in. He just doesn't mean to be, but he is kind of fucked up. And so then it's like, oh, actually maybe the situation is more that we want to be on the side of the rich people because they are being played by this poor person who's just after their money.
Yeah, and he's going to kill them all.
And he's going to kill them all. So like, so it just cancels itself out. Like it's not no one is likable. You don't really want anyone to win in this. The only person that I thought was like, could be sort of borderline likable, Venetia.
Yeah.
Venezia.
Yeah.
She's clearly an extremely travelled person, but she's never like cruel to anyone.
No.
And I want to say Elspeth, but Elspeth is just like one of those kind of caricatures of a rich person that she's completely oblivious and thinks she's actually just like really sweet and lovely, and you know, but actually she's not a nice person. And her friend commits suicide and she goes, God, she'd do anything to get attention.
Yeah.
You know, like no one is nice in this film.
No.
So then I don't think it is saying anything. I think it's just saying nothing.
But I also think there is a problem that some of the families, some of the rich people are nicer. Generally, if you sort of toss it all up on a chart, are nicer fundamentally than Oliver. Like they are just they like I don't watch it and go like Felix is Jacob Elordi's character is like a really bad person. I just watch him, I go, he's out of touch. He can be a bit of a dickhead, like, you know, a rich 18-year-old can be.
Yeah.
But he doesn't come across as like a fundamentally bad person. He still comes across as someone that like wants to be kind, wants to be generous towards Oliver. Even if it's misguided, it's just like, well, he's out of touch. He's grown up in this ridiculous household. Of course he's out of touch, right? But he doesn't come across as like fundamentally like manipulative and like nasty, which you know Barry Keoghan's character does. Like you know, he kind of does end up becoming the villain of the piece. Admittedly, disposing of a lot of ridiculous, bad, out of touch people, but not. You know, it's not kind of like, yeah, you get them, because they're kind of like, they are a bit ridiculous, they are a bit cruel, but they don't do anything that's really horrible. Do you know what I mean? They're kind of just...
I mean, like...
Well, sorry, pare that back. Some of them do, but like,
yeah,
you know.
Some of them do, but I agree. But that's the humanising element that I said, and like that Felix is almost shown to kind of be quite like almost a bit embarrassed by his wealth. Like,
yeah,
you know, he when Barry's sort of like, sorry, Oliver's like, you know, your room's a mess. Like, you can't, you know, this is the difference between rich people and poor people. You can't just live like this, and like starts cleaning up, and he's like, just fucking leave it. I said I'd do it, okay? Like I can do it. I can do it myself. I'm just hot.
Yeah.
And like I think he's, you know, they're trying to show that he's a good guy who, like, you know, he didn't choose to be wealthy. He didn't choose this life. And like, then when Oliver arrives at Saltburn, he interrupts the butler and he's like, don't scare my friend off, please. Like,
Yeah.
And then they go upstairs and he's like, honestly, it's really super relaxed. Don't worry at all. Just be yourself. We'll be in the library.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's, they try and set him up as like being the new character that we like relate to and we love and we adore. Like, I don't know. It's just...
Hello, Oliver, darling. Oh, beautiful eyes. Oh, how wonderful.
Yeah, I told you it wasn't a minger.
Oh, but darling, you're kind about everyone. You can't be trusted.
When I saw it the first time and I was thinking back on it, I definitely thought that things were longer than they were. Like, I thought that Jacob Elordi's character dies much earlier on. But actually, he's in it for about an hour and a half or something. I can't remember. The runtime, I think, is 2 hours 20, 2 hours 30. He's in it for actually a good chunk of the film. And then I thought that the final kind of sort of deaths happen in the last 20 minutes, or in the last, I don't know, hour or so. But actually, they all happen in the last 20 minutes. Which is, I think maybe it's just because they're all quite upsetting scenes. It felt like they were lingering around my mind for a lot longer than they were.
Yeah.
But I didn't necessarily feel like this film was too long.
No, and I actually think the thing I will say is that despite all my feelings about it, I was engaged. I wasn't bored. I was never bored.
No.
It's engaging, and the some of the performances are really great, and really engaging, and in different ways as well. And I think that's an interesting thing about the film, is that I don't actually think it feels imbalanced tonally, because you have stuff that some people find quite shocking. You have stuff that is quite sad or dramatic, or something almost out of a horror film at times. And then you have these scenes of sort of farcical comedy, or like quite dark comedy, when they're all having dinner and they're getting rid of the body and Richard E. Grant shouting at them to shut the curtains and all that kind of stuff. Like, that
was such a great scene. That's one of my 3 really good scenes.
So
I loved that scene.
Yeah.
I thought it was so good. And they're all the little kind of tiny, like the singles, and then playing on a wide, so you have a really good idea of exactly what's going on in everyone's minds. And like, the Elspeth is like, oh, darling, how do you feel about chocolate cake? It can be awfully tacky, actually, can't it? And she's getting louder and louder and more manic. And then, like, the daughter's having a meltdown, like, just pouring the wine, and it's pouring all over the table. Farley's, like, silently crying, and Richard E. Grant is, like, starting to get really angry. And, oh, my God. It was so good. I love that scene. I love that. I think it might have been the best scene in the film.
I think you're right. But I think what's impressive is that it does all feel. I saw Mark Kermode say this. It's like it feels really of a piece. Like it really all fits together well. I don't think the result at the end is. As I've said, I get to the end and I feel very cold about the overall experience of having watched it. But in terms of like when you're in it at the time, it all feels like it fits together very nicely. It's shot beautifully. The performances are really good. And I think the issues with the film more come from sort of analysing like, well, what is this and what is it about, rather than like the actual experience of sitting and watching the film itself necessarily.
What a glorious day. Never known a summer as hot as this one.
Swell.
I think it's even hotter than last year. Didn't think that was possible, but here we are again. It's hotter than Barbados, apparently. Barbados!
Oh, I can believe it, darling. Honestly, I don't think I've ever been hotter in my life.
Oh, I need to check with Robert to make sure that he's being extra vigilant with the hydrangeas.
Very wise, man.
Shall we talk about the scenes that sort of grabbed the headlines when it came out, that people found shocking. So you have the scene in which Oliver sucks up the bathwater of Felix, who's just masturbated in the bath. You have this scene where he goes down on the sister Venetia while she's on her period, and he has blood all over his face. And you have the scene in which Oliver sort of masturbates or fucks the grave of...
Makes love, James.
Makes love to the grave of Felix.
Yeah.
What do you think about those aspects of the film?
I think, all right, let's do...
Should we take them one by one?
Snog, marry, kill. Those 3 scenes.
Right.
You go first.
What do you mean? What? So...
Snog, marry, kill. Fucking, grave fucking.
Bathwater.
Eating. Or period fellatio. Can you call it fellatio if it's on a woman?
Isn't it cunnilingus if it's on a woman?
Cunnilingus.
Because there's that awful line in the... is it Tomorrow Never Dies? One of the Pierce Brosnan James Bond films.
What?
Yeah, he's like... James Bond is having sex with a woman who is his Danish language instructor, and they're talking sexily in Danish to each other, and he's doing the Pierce Brosnan James Bond thing, and then Moneypenny calls him to say like, you're required by M, and I can't remember what he says, but she says, you always wear a cunning linguist, James, and it's like, come on, that's bad. Anyway.
No, that's great.
So
because I'm not very good at puns, so I love a pun. Okay, so I'll go first.
Yeah, you go first.
It's actually quite hard. Kill. Period cunnilingus.
Right.
Fuck the bathtub scene.
Right.
Marry the grave fucking scene. And I'll tell you for why.
Yeah, go on.
The the period eating out scene, I'm a sex positive person. I don't want to shit on period sex, but I feel like that whole scene, it started off strong and I was like, yeah, this is great. And then I was like, oh, it's going on too long. Oh, it's very performative. They've put this in here to put this in here. And then he started saying some disgustingly cringy things like, lucky for you, I'm a vampire. So Irish. And I was just like obviously that's, vampire blood, blah, blah, blah. But we also got the not veiled metaphor for the fact that he is sucking these people dry.
Yeah.
And I just was like, oh, do you know what? Actually, this scene's crap.
Yeah.
Didn't like it.
Okay.
But fuck the bathtub scene because, yeah, I get it. It's a bit gross and the frame was incredibly tight. But
the noises were great as well.
Noises
just
were great.
Slurping it up.
It was it's still hot. Let's be honest. The bathhole, he's eating out Jacob Elordi. That's what that is.
Right.
And so there was an element of that that's obviously a bit oh, really? Oh, God, it's so creepy. Oh, warm bathy cum. Which is not great. But yeah, there was an element of that I was I get what they're doing here.
Yeah, okay.
Great stuff. And then the grave fucking scene, I just thought that was a really... I could watch that over and over again, whereas I don't think I could watch the others over and over again. And I liked that it was just a very simple, locked off, wide, bit silhouetted, kind of can still hear him sobbing mixed with groaning. I thought it was quite well done, but as an AD, hated that scene because I know that was improvised and that they didn't know he was going to start doing that.
Right.
The direction for it was that he was supposed to kind of, go to the grave and on his knees and start kind of cuddling the grave or whatever. But obviously he took his dick out and started fucking the ground. So as an AD, I'm like, did we clear that with the crew? Were they comfortable being there?
Yeah.
I'm guessing there was clearly no movement director, intimacy coordinator, rehearsal kind of happening.
Yeah.
Luckily that, it was locked off so that the focus puller didn't have a meltdown because suddenly you're fucking the ground. My mind was doing all of that while I was watching it, which is a real shame. So, I have mixed feelings about that one. But you go. Marry, snog, kill.
So, hang on. So, is I never
played this game?
No, I have. But I'm always sort of like... Are we saying that, snog is better than marry?
That's your opinion, babe.
But will you put
if
marry...
you marry someone, you have to be around them for forever, all the time.
Yeah, but you put that great... Oh, yeah, and you said you have to... Yeah, okay. I think you're totally right about the period scene. It's like...
That's
okay.
Because I feel like that could have been...
I think cut it down.
Yeah.
Cut some of the lines, like you say. Fine. Whatever. I'd probably swap the bathroom scene for the graveyard scene.
Really? Did you not like the graveyard scene?
I actually felt a bit like you did with the period scene. It felt like a bit of we're supposed to be shocking you.
Okay, I didn't get that. I felt like it was a window into watching someone's really private grief.
But then I also wonder if by that point of the film, I'm kind of starting to feel a bit done with it all. And maybe I have less of a tolerance for it at that point. Whereas with the bathtub scene, I'm still quite invested. And I think there's something to be said about I think Jacob Elordi's really captivating in this film in terms of and he's always lit. There are some scenes where it looks where he's topless in the sun by the lakey bit in the garden. It's this could be a fucking perfume ad, with Jacob Elordi, and you're I can see what Oliver is seeing in him, and so
that's the point.
yeah, and so when you get to the bathtub scene, it's he's so obsessed with him. It sort of made more almost emotional sense for me. And I think when you get to the graveyard scene, I'm kind of a bit oh, yeah, all right, okay, oh, he's fucking the grave now, okay. I'm a bit less and I get it from an emotional standpoint, but I'm also a bit just yeah, okay.
So I have two things on that. I agree to the perfume ad kind of vibes.
Yeah.
That it's you kind of expected some text to come up and be Marc Jacobs, Saltburn.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that is, we're seeing Oliver's romanticizing montage of this man. But I actually wrote down, so obviously we've spoken about the DP liners, but I wrote down the gaffer, David Sinfield, because I just wanted to give a shout out because this whole film between the two of them is so beautifully lit.
Yeah.
It just goes between quite dark or a bit sort of gothic and moody to really kind of harsh, intense. There was a lot of natural lighting. There was that final really long Steadicam shot following him dancing around Saltburn. That I rewatched it because I was like, the light in this is incredible, and it's incredibly hard to do when you're doing like a long one take, to make sure that there's no light behind the camera at any point that's going to cast a shadow as you're tracking, and like the rooms were like, every room was lit a little bit differently. There were haze in some rooms, there wasn't haze in other rooms. Like it was so beautiful. The party scenes, the scenes in the maze, that everything was going, and like, actually even that one take, it was going from being like really well lit on Barry to him really silhouetted and casting these really beautiful shapes, and like it was just, I thought it was so well done. I actually think that might be my most favourite thing about this film. Yeah. Was the way that it was lit. I thought it was really great. Really also lovely use of practicals, like Oxford, all the rooms and were very stuffy, and a lot of Saltburn was like that. And then, I just thought it was so great. The only place that was kind of lit really, really naturally, other than obviously the external scenes, was Oliver's house. That just felt,
it's quite a nice touch, because it's like
the real world.
You're back in reality.
Yeah.
And he's confronted with, I'm back in reality. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like a bit flat and a bit boring and a bit sort of like, it's not as exotic and exciting as the world that he wants to build for himself.
Well, it's the cold light of day, isn't it?
Yeah.
And she's saying things like, now, he's the top scholar.
Yeah.
And Felix is like, he's so humble.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
It's like everything has come laid to bear. So I thought that was, love that. The other part of it was, would you say, so in the lead up, in the press for this film, the snippets in the trailer were very, very short. So Margot Robbie was a producer on this film, and apparently that was her decision to keep them to 15 seconds or less because she wanted it to create this air of mystery around the film. But what that did was created a narrative in the trailer that this was a queer love story. And that's what I thought it was when I went to see it. Mm-hmm. That's what a lot of people I know thought it was. We thought it was a romance film between Jacob Elordi and Barry Keoghan. And then obviously you watch it and you're like, not only is that like not what this is about.
Yeah.
But it then just felt a bit queer baity.
Yeah.
And it's not to say there's not queer things in it, because there are, and like there's also a moment, I think, there's a few, but when he's talking to Elspeth in the hospital bed and she's like, and he says he's talking about his feelings for Felix, and he's like, did I love him? I wasn't in love with him, but I loved him. I loved him. And he just keeps like saying, it's getting more and more power every time he's saying it. And like, as an audience, you're like, did you love him? I don't know. Like, were you romantically interested in this man, or did you just like idolize him and hold him up on this like altar as being this like perfect, incredible man?
Yeah.
And actually, you're not queer. You were just like,
he wants to be him, not be with him, I think.
Well, yeah, that's the difference. Yeah. So like, would you say that this was a queer love story? Whether that's like not necessarily a nice one or a romantic one, but one of like obsession, and that stuff can be true too. But would you describe this as like a queer love story, a queer film?
Probably not. No. I don't think so. I mean, maybe I'm sure there'll be people that disagree with that. No, I don't think that's what it is, though.
I don't think so either.
And I think you're right. The trailers definitely suggest that. I remember that being a thing around the time. That was kind of the conversation, and also he wanted to put like shocking scenes in sort of inverted commas, because I actually don't even think they're particularly shocking.
What were the shocking scenes?
The three scenes we just talked about. But that's like, it got so much attention, like how shocking it is, and I was kind of a bit like, it's not that shocking. Like, if you've watched enough I don't want to sound like a film snob,
If
but
you've
like,
watched enough porn, it's not.
no, but if you watch enough films, like it's
Yeah.
not that shocking. Do you know what I mean?
No,
It's
but there
kind
is
of-
an element of like, oh, okay, they did that. They
Yeah.
went there because you kind of, again, this is like I was like, you do think it's gonna pan away. It's gonna pan away. And then
I
it
think
just
the
doesn't.
one. I think
Like,
the one that is the sort of one that you're like, oh wow, they went there, is the graveyard scene, for me.
that was all Barry.
That was all Barry. Bloody loved it, didn't he?
I don't know what I'd do without Elsbeth. She really saved me.
Don't bang on about it, Pamela, darling. You know we're delighted to have you for however long it is you mean to stay.
Forever?
Oh no, I think I might have found somewhere.
Oh, well done, darling.
Yeah, my cousin has a flat.
Oh, that'll suit you very well. A nice little flat.
It's more of a bedsit.
I
Really, than a
loved
flat.
living in a bedsit in my 20s. It's so freeing to live all in one room.
Can we talk about the ending of the film, which
Which
you've already
bit?
referenced to? So
The naked dancing.
not the naked dancing, although I'm sure we'll get onto that. The scene preceding that, where he's basically
Elspeth.
telling Elsbeth everything he's done,
Yeah. And giving us like
the
flashbacks.
play-by-play of what he's done,
Yeah.
because that really, and still does, really piss me off when I watched it, because I thought it was a perfect example of where a film does not need to spell out to the audience what's happened, because we already fucking
We
know.
knew.
We
Like,
knew. It wasn't
yeah.
like a surprise. It was like, oh my god, he killed them all. It's like, it was pretty fucking obvious.
I know, but like, to be honest, even if it wasn't obvious, because like, could Felix have overdosed on his own? Yeah. Could she have slit her own wrists if he hadn't put the razor down? Yeah. Like, these things could have happened. So I almost would have preferred it. I mean, I would have preferred it for sure if they hadn't have done the
Yeah.
holding your hand, spoon feeding you,
Yeah.
whatever. But I think that it would have been more interesting afterwards,
Having
and it
the,
would have been a
"Oh,
more
we don't know."
divisive. Yeah.
Yeah. I think
yeah.
so. Because there would almost be something quite nice about a version in which it's like, actually, all these people did die from their, like, you know, with nothing to do with him. And he's just in the right place and the right time. And he's maybe manipulated things a bit, and now he's just like, he's benefiting from all that. But to like put the sort of really obvious stamp on, like, let me explain to you what I did. Just
And he's in a suit, and his hair's slicked back, and he's doing this weird villain
Yeah.
monologue. I just hated it.
and I think actually that's where he's weakest in the film as well. But I think he really overplays that section,
I just thought it was so.
really-
I thought it was a poor way to end it.
because it reminds me of another film that does this. That is another film that I really don't like. But there was the Joaquin Phoenix Joker film.
I'm sorry, the what?
Joaquin Phoenix Joker film.
The who?
Joaquin Phoenix?
Oh, Queen Phoenix. What?
How's he?
James! Joaquin!
Joaquin.
Joaquin.
Anyway. The Joaquin Phoenix Joker film.
That was great. I didn't watch it. I couldn't watch it. I was
I
told
wouldn't
not to.
recommend-
People
I
were
wouldn't
like,
recommend.
Elsa, you should not watch that film.
I really didn't like it.
Is it scary? It's depressing.
It's not scary. It's a bit heavy, but it's boring. Well, I think is the problem. But anyway,
Okay.
But there's a. So I'm going to spoil a bit of the film for you now, but it's okay.
I don't think I'm going to watch it.
So in the film, he's obviously a bit of a loner character, and he meets a neighbour of his, and played by Zazie Beetz, and they have an interaction in the hallway, like a friendly interaction in the hallway, and then he proceeds to date her, and you get this montage of them going out and dating, and him being in her flat, and them going to the fairground, and all this kind of
Sure.
stuff. And then later on in the film, he has something bad happens, I can't remember, and he's sat in her apartment and she opens the door and walks in and goes, oh, and is like clearly surprised that he's sat there, and is like, you're the guy from like flat 7, right? Like, and you realise that in that moment that he's made up this fantasy in his head that they're dating, and they never were. And the only interaction he'd had with her was the interaction in the hallway. But the film, so you get that in that moment, just from her look and her going, you're the guy from down the hall, right?
Go, oh,
you
fuck,
and
that
you
wasn't
go,
real.
oh, okay, right.
That wasn't real.
But then the film proceeds to then decide to replay all the flashback moments of him, but on his own, without her. And you go, I know, I get it. Like, you don't have to spell it out for me. I get it. Like, and it really frustrates me because I feel like audiences are more intelligent than they are sometimes given credit for, and they get things, they understand things, and I think like, but I think I don't think you should make stuff to cater to like,
I agree,
a lowest common denominator of like we should give the audience the credit of like understanding it, or, you know, if they don't understand it, that's fine. They can look it up, or they can talk to someone who does understand it, or do you know what I mean? And I'm sure there are people for which, I'm not discounting, there will be people that for which that do need hand holding through things a little bit more for whatever reason, and I accept that totally. But I just think for the, you know, I just think there are instances where and types of films where like that is not necessary, and I think like Saltburn being a good example of like, we don't need this spelled out to us, and actually, like you said, it makes it less interesting now that you are spelling it out to us, and in the fashion that you are doing so as well.
I agree. I think how do I want to, I think if I were a director, and I know from my directors that I work with, I would not want to sacrifice my creative to make something more palatable for a greater variety of people.
Yeah.
Because I feel like your creative, your film that you're making is a bit of you. And for the people that get it and the people that love it, welcome. I'm really happy that you get sharing it with me. But for the people that don't, that's okay. Maybe it's not for you. But I do think that we are now in this place with the film industry that there is a lot of pressure from the studio on the director and the producers to make something that people will get, and that like is available for a wider group of people, so that it's going to, you know, make a lot more money and there'll be a lot more interest around it. And I think, you know, we see that in second screen writing for films, that, you know, the actors say out loud what they're doing so that people cannot be focused on the film and doing other things. We see that in the fact that they are now casting influencers in roles in films, and when actors now go to audition, they are, one of the first things they're asked is, how many followers do you have on social media, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But I do think there is a huge amount of pressure on people to make these.
No, and I get that, and I'm not having a go at necessarily the director. I think especially, I mean, maybe Joker was a bad example to bring up as well, because it's a mainstream like comic book movie that, like, regardless if it was like doing something slightly different with the genre, it's like, it's still a mainstream comic book movie that all ages and all different people are going to go see, and that, so like maybe that's a bad example, but it's just one that stuck out to me as one that I remember as hand holding.
But I also, like, I don't think that Saltburn, what I just said, I don't get the impression that that was a thing. I feel like that was just what was written.
Yes, yeah.
I don't think that this film was particularly intelligent or a head scratcher. I think it was like to be honest, like a bit of a kitschy gothic thriller that every now and again has some pretty like dry, funny, laughing at the rich moments. And that's kind of all I thought it was.
Yes, but I think I guess where I have the problem with it is that it's then like, I agree with you. I think that's what it is. But I think that the people making it think that it's more than that. And I've got no problem with you wanting to make a kitschy kind of gothic, that kind of thing. I've got no problem with that. And if that was kind of the way it was presented by the sort of lead creatives of the film, I would go, yeah, well, it's, you know what it is, and that's fine. But I just feel like there's a sense of like, it's like I said earlier, like there seems to be a sense with both like Emerald Fennell and some of the cast, and then some of the people who really love the film, that it's much more than that, and there's a lot of deep meanings to it that maybe they do have, but it does not come across to me when I'm watching the film at all.
Yeah.
Maybe she did write it with a real sense of purpose and meaning and knowing what it is, but then in all the interviews I've listened to of her, it doesn't feel like she can actually explain what it is that, do you know what I mean? And I think...
What do you think of her as a filmmaker?
Well, I really liked Promising Young Woman.
I remember you
saying
that.
Which I haven't watched since watching Saltburn, so I would be kind of intrigued to like go watch it again. But I really liked Promising Young Woman. I thought it was a very strong like first feature. Obviously, she's like done a lot of stuff in and around the industry before, but I thought it was a really strong film. So I was quite excited about Saltburn just because I was like, oh, it's a new Emerald Fennell thing. And now I think we obviously haven't seen it, can't judge it. It was a test screening that stuff has leaked from.
The Wuthering Heights.
But her Wuthering Heights film sounds like it's going down a similar route to Saltburn in the way in which I get the impression she feels the need to... maybe this is unfair, but like I get the impression that there's a feeling of a need to like shock or like provoke, and I think I'm all for that if it feels like you're doing it for a reason at the end of it.
What was the article that I sent you? What did it say about Wuthering Heights? It was like that it starts off with a public
hanging where the person who's hung then gets an erection and ejaculates.
Yeah, I don't think that is actually anatomically possible. I think that blood flow happens and you could definitely get an erection, but I don't think you would ejaculate.
No.
Unless it was like the pre-hanging and he was like, kind of into this.
Yeah. Well.
We're not here to talk about that.
No, but yeah, so
We're here to talk about Saltburn.
I think that's what I think about Emerald Fennell, is I feel like she feels the need to...
She's married herself to a brand, and now she's like, must see out the brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you think as well about her?
Potentially.
Yeah.
But I've only seen Saltburn.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like I can...
Fair. It'll be interesting when Wuthering Heights comes out. Maybe we should earmark it in the diary as we'll do a bonus episode about it when it comes out, because
I like Wuthering Heights.
I think regardless it'll be kind of interesting. Jacob Elordi's in that as well, isn't he?
So is Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
I saw the stills before all of the news came out about it, and a lot of people were just mad on the stills. They were like, that is not a period appropriate dress. Which, like, who gives a fuck? Like, whatever.
Well, and also we don't know at that point like what the direction the film's taking, so it's kind of like you can get mad at that. Well, I wouldn't even say you really get mad at that later, but you can get mad at that later if you want, but like until you've seen it, I don't think you can really comment on those things. And that's why I was like keen to say that like these things that have come out are from the test screening. Who knows if everything will make the final cut of the film? Like, that's what test screenings are for. But yeah, it's just interesting that
We should do some of those.
Feels like she's, you know, going along the same path.
She can come back from it. Come back.
Cold hands, apparently. You have to have cold hands.
I've heard. So the butter doesn't melt.
Although I would think that applied more to pastry than to cake.
Duncan! Just get them closed, for Christ's sake!
Yes, sir. I'm trying, sir. I can't. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Any final thoughts on Saltburn?
Not really. I think a lot of people did not like this film, but I was surprised with how I read a lot of really bad reviews, but then the general ratings of them was like a solid 70%.
Yeah.
So I thought that was confusing. Maybe the people that liked it are just like a little freaky and they are scared to write anything, but they'll vote.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. But yeah, I do think that I have shot, if not in the house, because I know no one shot there before, around it. It's Drayton House. It's in Kettering.
Right.
I have a really strong feeling, and I know I have a bad shooting memory, but it just feels like I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. No further. I wanted to do a shout out actually for the ACAM Steady Op, Ozzy McLean.
Yeah.
Because, and I don't know if it was Ozzy that did all of these shots, but there were a lot of one-shot tracking that I thought was really great. Like the very first one of him arriving at Oxford, and they're playing God Save the King. Thought that was great. Obviously, Murder on the Dance Floor.
And the one when
The
he
party
arrives
scene.
at the house and Felix is giving him the
Walks him
tour.
through, yeah. Like, was there cuts in that?
There may have been cut back to...
No, yeah, I think there were.
Bang,
Yeah.
But
I thought a lot of that was really great. And I love a one-shot, especially when it's like kind of traversing through different spaces, and I love it. I thought that was great.
I don't know about one-shots anymore.
I think it depends on the one-shot. I think there are a lot of people that do one-shots so that they can say they did a one-shot. But I don't think that these were
No,
what that
I
is.
agree with you on that. I just think, just on the topic of one-shots quickly, I just feel like at the moment I see too much of them, and I think you're right. I think it's that thing of like, oh, we should do a one-shot because then we can say like this scene was all shot in one shot or whatever. And then often, I don't know if it's because I'm an editor as well, it's like I can always see where the hidden cuts are when it's not a real true one shot. I'm like, well, there's a wipe, there's a thing, I can see. And that stuff annoys me a little bit.
Sure. I once worked with a grip who we were chatting about one shots, and he was like, oh, fucking waste of time. It's just the director and the DP wanking each other off. And I don't know if I agree with him, but I thought that was really funny. He's a funny guy. Okay, any closing thoughts for Saltburn? I feel like we got very into like, I don't like kind of technicalities on this. We didn't really content wise. Did you like it? No. Okay.
But again, it's the thing I come back to is like in the moment as I was watching it, generally from like scene to scene, if I could take portions of it, I go, that was a great scene, that was a great moment, that looks beautiful, that performance is great. You know, I was never bored, but I left it feeling frustrated, and the more I think about it, the more I don't like it, and the more it annoys me.
I didn't feel good at the ending either, purely because I was like, well, fuck. That's a horrible ending. Everyone that was the villain one, but they were all villains. So was there going to be a happy ending? But particularly the silhouetted shot of Barry Keoghan ripping out the ventilator from, I thought was the most violent thing.
Yeah.
It was horrific. I thought it was horrible. And then watching her kind of like convulse to death, fucking hated that. Really, really, really hated that. I thought that was really shit. I loved this.
But do you think that
it was shit?
No, but do you think so? I'm just going to focus in on that a little bit. Do you hate that because you just didn't like the imagery and you thought like
Yeah.
oh, I don't want to see that?
Yeah.
Or do you hate it from a sort of like filmmaking perspective of like you don't think it should have been in the film?
No, the former. But I also just like I'm a bit of a softie when it comes to my characters and the plot, and I'm just like, oh, fucking hell. Hate that for her. I hated that was her end, you know, like that. It was a bit of that as well. But I did think that the ending of the naked murder on the dance floor, which revived Miss Sophie Ellis-Bex's career,
It really did.
really did. I did a job with her recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Great. So that I thought was great. I love that. I thought that was beautiful. Again, the lighting on it, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is so beautiful. So that's the ending, but the general vibe of the ending I didn't like. But, you know, again, there is always something to like in a film, I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
The lighting on this was beautiful. I thought the styling was great.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed all of that.
Yeah.
Very playful and fun. Almost a bit, the party scenes were a bit Baz Luhrmann-y almost, weren't they?
They were a bit, yeah.
Didn't mind that. But see, I think that's what I would like Baz Luhrmann to be, rather than the music video vibe that he has now succumbed to completely.
Yeah.
That was kind of best of both worlds, I thought, in Saltburn.
Yeah.
But okay, should we vote?
Rerate it
Yeah.
out of 5.
What are you going to go for? There's so
so
many
many
things, yeah, we could go for.
I'm not going to say spunky bathwater again. I mean, I just did, but you know.
Okay, out of 5, yeah, I don't know what I want to go for. I keep almost saying something. I'm like, oh, don't do that.
Out of 5 spunky bathtubs, what are you going for?
I'm from Liverpool. I 2.
Okay.
Because I thought it was a well-made film. I thought it was beautifully shot, incredibly lit. But I just didn't like the plot. I didn't like the characters. And there were a few scenes that I thought were crap.
And it didn't say anything.
It didn't say anything. I felt hollow finishing that film.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 2 as well. Because I think you have to give it credit for... And I think that's the thing as well. I think when you ask me about what do I think of Emerald Fennell, it's like there's obviously so much talent there. But yeah, I don't like the direction that it's all going in, really. Yeah, so there you go. What do you think of Saltburn? Let us know in comments or whatever, you know, wherever you listen to this.
Oh, you gave up towards the end of that.
Yeah, I did, didn't I? It was unconvincing. I don't know. Anyway, now
the time has come.
The time has come where we dive into the credits of Saltburn, and I've picked 3 crew members for Elsa to choose from, and from that crew member we will arrive at our next cinematic adventure. Elsa, we have on the docket for you today Colin Jackman, the sculptor.
I have something to say about a sculpture in Saltburn.
Oh, go on.
the Minotaur in the centre of the maze
Yeah.
was sculpted on Barry's body.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
He is the Minotaur. He's the monster in
That's
the maze.
quite good. That's
Isn't
a nice
it?
touch.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
So, see, little things like that, you go,
Like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Polly Duval, the post-production supervisor,
Her name's familiar. Okay.
and Roy Taylor, the stunt coordinator. Can I just say...
What stunts were there?
I don't know. Can I say that is the most stunt coordinatory name I think I've ever seen? Roy Taylor.
Roy Taylor.
He's doing stunts.
Roy. Oh, it's because it's like Roy Kemp.
Yeah,
That's
true.
why.
Yeah.
What stunts were there?
I
don't think
don't
there were any
know.
stunts. Maybe when Benita and Farley are going around the lake. It's not technically
It's one of
a
those
stunt.
things, though, isn't it? Like,
You just need someone.
there's always a time where you go, well, actually, to do that, not that dangerous thing of doing that, we
Yeah.
will have to get a stunt coordinator in, and he'll have to coordinate it and make it safe.
I don't know why you're rolling your eyes like that. I'm an AD. That's literally what I have to do. So.
I know, but that is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, but even that, I'm trying to think. I'm like, does someone jump off a table at any point? I just actually can't think of anything stunty.
I don't know. Maybe some of the party stuff?
No, that's a lot of movement direction-y, intimacy coordinatory, blocking, but...
Well, I don't know. Roy did some
Roy's
work
off my
on the
list.
film.
No, Roy's
so...
off my list because I actually can't think of anything that he would have done.
What did you do, Roy?
What were the other...
Roy, if you're listening,
What did you do?
write in. Tell
What did you
Elsa
do?
what
Tell
you
me
did.
what you did.
I'm sure
Really?
you worked really hard on the film, and Elsa's not convinced.
I fully can't... Was there a car crash? No. Tell me what the other two were because I forgot.
Colin Chapman, sculptor, and Polly Duval, the post-production supervisor.
Sorry, Polly, but let's go Colin because I thought the Minotaur sculpture was a really cool...
Yeah, the Minotaur's a cool thing. So, Colin, congrats. Because you picked Colin, that means we are talking next time about Atonement, which I haven't seen before, so that's
I have
interesting.
seen that.
Okay.
Fucking hell, James, you picked some heavy films.
Is it a sad one?
It's so heavy.
Oh, okay. Well,
Good stuff.
maybe we'll have to do something light after Atonement. But thank you very much for joining us this time on Cruise Next.
Yeah. Sorry, Roy.
Sorry, Roy.
I am sorry, actually.
Yeah.
But what did you do?
What did you do, Roy? Leave a like, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. Tell your friends, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.